Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network. For the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews, press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, we bring you on an expedition through the depths of the movie industry to discuss the amazing, terrible, and amazingly terrible movies based on video games. Our hosts' entire lives are dedicated to a single goal. Probably answering the age-old question, do games make good movies?
Hey everyone, and welcome to this brand spanking new show at the Popcorn Talk Network. You can always tweet us at the Popcorn Talk, and also check us out on YouTube at Popcorn Talk Network. We are here doing a show called Do Games Make Good Movies? Basically breaking down some of those video game turned movies and talking.
This music's contagious, right? You can't not move.
I mean, when you have the theme song, the answer is yes. And that's just the end of the thing.
Move.
With this theme song, that's it. It's over. Yes.
I think everyone can guess what today's movie is.
Street Fighter. Yep, Street Fighter.
Yep.
No, Dead or Alive is actually this comes from Dead or Alive. You're close.
Yep.
It is a very interesting one. It is 1995's Mortal Kombat.
Way back.
Yes, it is. And I am Kaori Takee. You can follow me at Kaorius, and you can also send us comments, questions, all that good stuff. Hashtag VG Films. I think that's what we said.
I think that works. That works. Run with it. VG Films. It is now. If it wasn't before, that's the hashtag.
You already said it.
Nailed it.
That's what it is.
Nailed it.
And I've got Dave Klein next to me of DaveControlLive.
Oh, hello. How are you?
What is your Twitter?
You can find me at the Dave Klein, the K-L-E-I-N.
And next to him, Patrick Dees of Pixel by Pixel Podcast.
Correct. You can find me at P to the D's. What is up, guys? This is exciting.
It is exciting.
It's good to be here.
The game control band back
Yeah, a little bit.
Plus Donica.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm new to the game control bandwagon. You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. I'm so happy we're starting with literally one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Whoa.
That's a
Shots
high
fired.
ranking right there.
Yes, it is.
Shots fired. This is an honesty
It's like
zone,
10.
right? This
It's
is
like below 10, but it's still up there.
This is an honesty zone, though. We're telling the truth here,
I'm
right?
telling the absolute truth.
All right.
we
I can't wait to hear what's above it. Is what.
We recently all started rewatching it, so do you still feel that way now?
100%. I
Nice.
know all of the music cues. I know all of the moves before they happen.
That's literally 10 times more than 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's good math. It's science.
I know maths.
It's science.
I went to a school once.
You did.
All right, so this movie was made in 1995, and the director was Paul W.S. Anderson. I don't think he does much since then.
Other than
he did
video
some
game movies, yeah.
He did some Resident Evil stuff, let's get to it, guys. So what is your history with Mortal Kombat, the game as well as the movie? What are the fondest memories?
Mark, I want to hear you. I feel like this is top 10 movies. I feel like there has to be rooted in something.
It's kind of similar to how everybody else have discovered it. It was the arcade.
Yep.
Everybody was crowded around it as many quarters as they could before anybody knew what it was.
So a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
So did you start with Mortal Kombat 1? Were you
One.
like on that band? Okay, the very first.
I was the very first one playing it in the arcade.
You dug the uber violence, like you just wanted to see that Scorpion fatality or the Sub-Zero fatality rip his spine out. Like that was what.
It was unlike anything that had ever come out before.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
always been a fighting game fan, and this wasn't like Street Fighter or anything.
You were like, stiff, clunky controls. I feel it.
Exactly. But that's the thing is, they've come a long way since then, and it didn't age well in terms of the controls. But I kept going. I bought, played, beat every single Mortal Kombat game that was involving a tournament, so not like the Special Forces game, the Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
And I love this lore, I love this mythology, I love these characters, and I love these games.
I'm excited to have you here for this. You're really going to break this down.
He's really excited. I like that. All right, Patrick, what's your history?
So,
We talk about Reptile all the time.
I was trying to figure out the sound effect. At first I thought it was like...
Patrick's going to turn
Reptile getting
I'm turning into Reptile.
It's because Reptile's like, it's a tasty.
I'm going to do like they do
description.
in the movie where they take like 10 minutes to do a special move move, and I'm just gonna sit and build up and build. So my experience with Mortal Kombat. So I dug the first one okay, but I really got turned on to Mortal Kombat 2. I think that's where
definitely a better game. Definitely a better game than
orders
one.
of magnitude better game. They introduced combos, the jab system, so you could juggle people in the air, and so I was the guy who again had his quarter up there and made a living at the arcade playing Mortal Kombat 2.
Okay.
Is this true? Recently, it was like a year ago or something like that. We play Mortal Kombat 2, and his skills hold up.
It's weird, but there's muscle memory. I haven't played the game in however long, right? But you just don't forget that jab, teleport, spear, uppercut combo. It all kind of comes back to you. So I fell in love with 2. I really dug 3. I was one of those cheap ass, terrible Cabal players in the arcade. I know, I had to.
I knew you were going to say
cheap
Cabal.
goes with Cabal. I was the worst. But again, I like a lot of people. I settled into Scorpion. I played a little Sub-Zero here and there. But so you always had a fondness for it. But this movie hit right time, right place for me. As a kid, it was right when it was blowing up in the arcades. 2 was huge, and for me, I don't know if there's ever been a movie that I was more excited to see at the time. Right, these were beloved characters for me. You want to see my man Johnny Cage in action, right? So that's
he's
pretty
your favorite?
at the time. In Mortal Kombat 2, I was a Scorpion or a Johnny Cage guy for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's just wrong, because Sub-Zero is my boy.
Was it? All right,
I was a Sub-Zero guy too.
That's where it's at. You can freeze people. What more do you want? Plus, blue is my favorite color, so that's all you need. I was a kid, okay? That's what's important when you're a kid. His color was blue, and he was a ninja.
Fair enough.
And a ninja. Super important. So I started playing it too at the arcade. I wasn't allowed to buy the game when I was a kid because of the blood and gore. I was allowed to play most games except for Mortal Kombat. So I would try and sneak and play it at friends' houses. It's funny. I was never if my parents told me I wasn't allowed to watch a movie, I wouldn't watch it. But when it came to video games, I was like, no, I can play those. That's fine. So I play them at friends' houses, or they wouldn't let me see the movie when it came out. I wasn't allowed to see the movie because it was PG-13, and I was 10.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. So they bought me the soundtrack instead. So I would vicariously watch the movie by listening to the soundtrack. And I didn't see the movie until a couple of years after it came out, when it was on VHS. And I loved the movie when I first saw it, and I knew all the songs by heart. I was like, oh yeah, I know that song.
Look, you weren't alone. Soundtrack.
It went platinum. You were not alone in buying this. It went platinum. It's ridiculous.
So good.
Right? It is so bad. It's so good now.
When you got the techno theme song, that alone.
It's so good, actually.
I would agree. It's the perfect gym soundtrack.
It's actually, if it was StarCraft terms, it'd be Diamond. Really.
It has that EDM feel to it. So my memories was basically watching my brother play at the arcade, because I never felt confident enough to play at the arcade, because I just never felt. But I would play at home with my brother.
So what console were you playing it on?
I think it was the SNES.
So no blood.
Did you input the blood code? Was there? There was a Genesis blood code. Right?
Genesis had the blood code.
Oh, I would watch.
You know why?
It was sweat.
Because Genesis does what Nintendo don't, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, don't you dare
Genesis
say
does
that.
what Nintendo don't.
No.
I mean, to be
it's because of their turbo processing, blast processing. It's the blast processing that allows the blood to come out. Were
you Team Sega? Were you
no, I was a Nintendo kid, but my uncle had the Genesis, which was where I mostly played all of the Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I played fighting games on my Genesis because I prefer fighting games on the Genesis, but everything else I prefer my Super Nintendo for the most part. I mean, I like Sonic, but fighting games I always prefer Genesis, and it was probably because Mortal Kombat had blood, so I was like, obviously this is the place you go for fighting games.
Well, that being said, I saw the gore and stuff in the arcade, so that was crazy. I mean, it was kind of revolutionary because it was so bloody and nasty.
That's what started the ESRB. That's why it exists.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it was shock value for sure for us at that age, and now we've got crazy. Have you guys played the new one?
Mortal Kombat X is the best game since the first 3.
It is
sorry, what?
Insane.
You're not including Ultimate MK3
my
headphones. Because Ultimate MK3
my headphones
is
were
better
over
than
there.
MK3.
What did you say?
After the first 3, Mortal Kombat X is the best game in the world.
I need to play it.
It's really good.
All right. Well,
let's break down this movie. Let's get to it, because
please.
Obviously it was Mark's favorite, and Patrick had watched it twice in back to back.
Twice.
I did.
He loved it that much.
Or there's other words for it, but we'll get into it.
That's why we're sitting next to each other like twins do.
But point is some movies just need to stay in the past. I feel like I watched Willow recently. Also,
That's a great movie.
I mean, it was great when we were kids. Don't go back and revisit it. Just don't do it, right?
Not to get off topic, but it's a great movie. And
all right.
Val
We'll
Kilmer's
argue
best.
Mad Mardigan later.
I watched
All right.
Willow for the first time about 5 years ago.
What?
I enjoyed it. I was like, all right, this is fun.
It's just going to make for an interesting Mortal Kombat discussion.
It's the glasses. It's the rose-tinted glasses of looking back at something that you loved as a kid.
I 100% agree.
And whether or not they were prescription or not.
100%. That's how much I agree.
Good.
Yeah.
It's becoming
science.
a thing.
This is team science
All
over
right.
here. All right.
Team.
Okay, we're going to break down this plot real quick. Basically, there is many realms, and now Shang Tsung wants to take over Earth realm, and we have 3 warriors going out to beat him and stop him. We've got Liu Kang, Sonya, as well as Johnny Cage with different reasons and motivations.
And a random black dude.
Oh, wait, who? I already forgot.
He's also part of Earthrealm. Because it's important because of the part where they're like, no!
Oh, you know what? He actually has a name. His name is Art Lean.
Oh, that's right. They do meet each other on the ghost ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's you want to talk about like how they all get to that realm. So they all run to a ghost
Yes,
ship.
they all run to a ghost ship for different reasons. Sonya kind of just ends up running after unexpectedly.
She's chasing Kano.
You know what I was wondering though? Like, okay, so they all got their invitations, right? And it was basically you're led to believe that Raiden was choosing who he thought would be the best to represent Earth. But why does Shang Tsung deliver the one to Johnny Cage, and why is Sonya just led on kind of randomly by Shang Tsung when it's kind of like Raiden being like, "You are the best warriors."
Because of nonsense. Because nonsense. Because none of this makes any sense whatsoever. So first of all, let's talk about Johnny Cage. Can we start with Johnny?
Let's start with Johnny.
He's the best character in the film.
Johnny Cage, played by Linden Ashby. Okay, let's go.
I don't know if you know this, but he wears $500 sunglasses.
He does wear Johnny Cage, hands down the best character of this entire
Well, he's got the
film.
best dialogue.
I disagree.
runs
He,
away.
oh, really?
best dialogue.
He made
With
this
this
movie for
film.
me. I wasn't a Johnny Cage fan. I didn't like Johnny Cage at all as a kid until I saw this movie,
No.
and then I liked Johnny Cage.
He steals it. So he's approached by who, like, so he's filming a movie.
Handsome face.
Yeah.
Yep, I mean,
No,
it's-
he aged fantastically.
Yeah,
I would agree.
look at him in present day.
I'm
him.
smitten. No, but my point is, he's on the set of a movie, right? And he's filming something, right? And he's plagued by these bad stunt actors, right? You know,
This is where you fall down.
and the guy won't fall, and he's frustrated. And he walks up, and he sees a guy reading this tabloid, right? It's this shitty version of him doing this, saying Johnny Cage is fake.
Well, the funny part about that tablet was everything was in Chinese except for Johnny Cage's fake. I'm like, all
The
right.
important part.
Conflicting
I mean,
newspaper.
apparently. So then the guy who, like, I don't know, ostensibly is his guru, his agent, his manager, his like sensei, advises him to prove it, right? To prove that he's not a fake and to enter this tournament. And it's like, literally, so his advice is to enter a tournament on a ghost ship that by definition you're killing every other person you fight against. Has he not heard of PR?
But I don't think-
like, what was his strategy? Like this word of mouth?
Right, I don't think he knows it's a ghost ship where everybody dies, but it also is strange in general. I agree it's odd, because you're like, why don't you just go, like, I don't know, do like a normal, well-known tournament that everybody's heard of, as opposed to a random one, like, I've never heard of this tournament, but okay.
Because it's the scariest tournament of them all.
Somebody
he
needs to
trusts his
teach him.
manager.
Somebody needs to teach him about PR, though. Like, I don't know,
90s PR
host a
was
karate
terrible.
clinic.
That is true. It was,
you know,
Was
if you
this
said that,
pre-Tybo?
Fight Billy Blanks, man. That would have been showdown of the century right there.
All right, well, do you believe the other motivations, like Liu Kang's motivation to avenge his brother?
That's classic martial arts movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Do I believe it?
I mean,
No.
it was
Super
like
fake.
mainly the big deal. It was the
But it was
huge
cool to
premise.
see that immediately the danger of what Shang Tsung is. You know, he killed his brother and then he turns into like a dead skull, and it was a bad dream, but it still gives you an image of like, this dude's bad.
Can I also point out the point where he gets a letter in the mail that his brother died, and all that it says on the letter is Liu Kang,
Brother dead.
brother dead.
Come home.
That is all it says in quotes. It's like a giant. It's a full page. It's just brother dead, come home. Like, can't you say like what happened a little
Monks
more
don't
than
know
that?
how to run letters. They can't write letters. They're just like, here, take a message. Now go. And they're like, I guess I'll go to like a Western Union
They're saving the words for face-to-face moment, I guess.
I mean, apparently, I know. Like, I laughed out loud when I saw the telegraph. Brother dead, come home.
yeah.
Well, it's because you know what though, it leads to a handful of people on a leaky boat who are gonna save the world.
And then we also
Exactly.
We also have Sonya, whose motivation is to go after Kano and kick his ass.
So she's following Kano.
Yep.
Along with her partner Jax, and
But Jax doesn't even go.
as she runs to Ghost Ship, partner Jax goes, "Hey, don't go. No, just don't, Sonya. I did my best. She got him to Ghost Ship. I don't know. Like, I can imagine the conversation she has with her partner later, like, or her higher ups. Like, I don't know. She just ran at it. I don't know. I tried to stop.
It's like she has a gun. You think like just assault rifle him and be done with it? Nah.
Nope.
It's got to be personal. He killed a partner.
I mean, apparently.
In between the legs, personal, because that's what happens.
That is really what happens. I was kind of
That's
shocked
literally
how
what
he died,
happens.
but-
I'm not trying to be sexual here. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the villains that appeared in the show. Obviously, in the movie. Excuse me.
It's a lot of things.
What did you guys think of Scorpion and Sub-Zero and their special effects? And
You know, it's fun. It's funny watching now. Like, okay, so I never noticed it until when I was a kid, obviously, because well, for the time, those were good special effects. So like Scorpion with the thing coming out was a good special effect when we were kids. But now watching it, like you can tell the bad CG with it. But I also, like you can tell that there's like a cut around it where they did a bad job of like placing
warp.
it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say that Sub-Zero's freezing when he actually touches the gun still looks good. So some of it holds up. Plus, just that. Well, I mean, that's probably just because Sub-Zero's awesome and he's way better.
It's
than
definitely.
Scorpion.
It's because he's blue. This is a well-established
He's
fact.
blue.
We're coming back to
And,
that.
and I mean,
yellow.
look, they're both ninjas, so Scorpion's got that. But Sub-Zero's blue, he's better.
Okay.
So it was weird. Like, so I think the CG. I think to your point, some of it holds up, but it was definitely in a time where like actors didn't know how to react to CG, right? Like they're still like they way overcompensate for CG in the room.
Robin Shou, I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, and when they were talking about the special effects and like, oh, it was weird not having something there, which is something that you don't hear about anymore.
No.
But him watching the raw footage of him grabbing Reptile from the wall, and they went back to Anderson. He was like, yeah, just shake him. He's like trying to fight, just shake him. It was the weirdest. Just like, yeah, that totally makes sense. That's 90s special effects. Reptile didn't age well either.
what do you guys think of Reptile?
Yeah, I think Reptile aged the worst of all of it.
Yeah.
Because it had the most motion.
Right. Well, it's also because they had to create a full character with that. Whereas, like with the spear, like okay, it's a spear that's pretty easy to do, but with Reptile, it looks like Sci-Fi Channel right now. So in a sense, I guess it did age well because actually Sci-Fi Channel special effects are about the same par as Mortal Kombat.
It's just funny. Like obviously we're accustomed to like AAA like movies these days. Like literally, I just saw Avengers too. You know, yeah, exactly. And then you walk into this, and I was like, well, it was funny. It was interesting to see like the first time like. Reptile animates, right? Like Shang Tsung's talking at him, and he's just the statue, and he waits till he leaves the entire frame before he actually animates, right? Because
It's so much easier.
right, yeah, so much easier. But like, it's those things. When you're a kid, you don't even think about it. But these days, you know, they're interacting and they're several at the same time, and so I don't think it necessarily aged well. But at the time, like to your point, it was revelatory. Like,
Wants
it
to
was
rotoscope.
awesome.
Nobody wants to rotoscope because rotoscoping's awful.
Well, I think Goro aged really well.
That's because Goro was
Yeah.
real.
Yes.
Yeah, I
it's
think Goro does.
terrific. Basically, animatronics. He was carrying it. I think it was over 100 pounds.
I mean, he's basically if the Dinosaurs TV show that baby grew up, that he became Goro.
Grew 2 more arms.
And
Definitely.
I mean that's like
not the champion, not the no.
you know I think it's fine. I mean like honestly that is the best looking special effect in the movie,
Oh, it's
which is
so
part of
good.
what shows.
It's still good.
Which is
Well,
I mean it's just
sorry.
the fact that
I can't
practical
believe
effects
I'm
are
hearing
better.
this.
You don't think that was the
You
best special
don't.
effects in the
I
movie?
mean, okay. She said it was still good. I'm not saying it's not the best
I
special
think it's
effect.
still good.
It is definitely not good. Those 2 arms below him are totally beholden to the arms above. So he goes like this, and all 4 move
But
at the
so
same
is
time.
Actually, I know exactly how that animatronic works.
Okay.
There's the dude that runs the bottom 2 arms who's carrying everything on his shoulders.
Okay.
And then there's a modern motion capture rig where somebody is operating off screen with a full setup, and anything that they do does what the top legs as well as the head.
All right.
So it's somebody who can't see anything, maybe has a screen. It's 2 people in different parts of the set having to work together to try to make the shot work.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like with Jaws. You don't get a lot, but what you do get makes it that much more important.
So what you're saying is it's kind of like controlling a Jaeger.
Well,
There you go.
There you go.
Except they're not next to each other.
That's a Pacific Rim reference for you who
followed.
didn't pick that
It
up.
was the best. I would just.
And what do you guys think of the adaptation of Katana?
She
wasn't Asian in real life. That kind of
I mean,
frustrated
most
me a little
important thing is she didn't wear a ninja costume.
No.
And that is the most important thing of these
I
characters.
agree.
Very
Not one
distasteful.
special fan effect where she did none of that. Here's the thing. So I've got several problems with the fight structure in this movie. There was not like a March Madness style bracket, like a Cobra Kai
You know,
kind of
we
thing.
were thinking that too.
I don't know who's fighting whom or why. My
Shang Tsung.
problem with her is that she fights Liu Kang in kind of like a practice spar. Like they're just giving each other advice. But like, so Mark, we should go over there and hang out. Okay, cool, right?
And then Luke King has no idea what's going on.
He's like, I don't know what's. She's giving him advice, and the whole time that they're setting up like, don't let those two connect. Don't let them like unite forces. And then they fight, and like nobody steals a soul. Nobody's dead.
Yeah,
They both
okay.
walk away from the fight. Shang Tsung's like, hey guys, come on.
That was my biggest like question with the fight was it a practice spar? Was it a fight? Because every other fight, when someone loses, Shang Tsung takes their soul, and it's like, why didn't you take Katana's soul?
I know why, because the Katana is the Emperor's daughter.
Yes. True.
Can't mess with her. And I think he had bigger plans for Liu Kang. I think he wanted
he
wanted
had
Liu
bigger
Kang.
plans for Sonya.
Kind of. Yeah. Well,
Then she ended up becoming a pawn at the end. But I think it was more of Liu Kang wanting to reach his apex so that when he beat him, his soul would be that much stronger.
did it bother you that Sonya had like that kind of plan? It felt like it weakened the character at the end.
Sonya was terrible. Like I wanted Sonya's a badass. Like she should
Yeah.
be. She was invited to the tournament because she's this capable fighter, and they set her up. The first fight, she destroys Kano. Right. First of all, she's also in Billy Madison, so like I had a hard time
Yeah.
taking her seriously. She's never thrown a punch in her entire life.
For me, it was the opposite.
Was that
That's
right?
what was fun. I was like, holy crap, it's Sonya!
Oh, that's great. That's great. So they set her up to be this badass. She's invited to participate in the tournament. Clearly, she should be able to hold her own with all the guys. And the minute Shang Tsung grabs her, she's just damseled.
Yeah.
He throws her over the shoulder, and she's like, "Help me,
rear
help
arm
me."
lock and grabbing the hair.
Totally, and she's just victim. And like literally,
wrestling
it's terrible writing for a woman because like literally, A, they damsel her, and B, like half the time people are like, whoa, don't fight the girl. Like Johnny Cage is trying to step in for
Yeah,
her
I
all the
didn't
time,
like that
and
part.
she's written terribly.
It was a different time.
I mean, apparently.
Yeah, it's
So was Airplane.
Yeah, but watching it now was quite a disappointment for me to watch her be like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But she committed so much to it. All of the shouting, like the fight with Kano, where you felt every hit that Kano got on her, and then every hit that she brought back twice as hard.
I will say it was cool to see her get hit. Like, you know, it's that whole equal treatment.
I agree. It was cool to see a woman get hit.
Hey!
I understand how that could come out, but that's not what I was intending to say.
And we're canceled. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
This has
See you
been a
now.
great run. This has been so much fun.
I like that first episode we did.
That was remember that time we did that first
Let's just
episode?
reminisce
First and
about-
last. Thanks, Dave Klein. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Dave Klein. What did you guys think of Raiden? I thought Raiden was comic relief. I mean, come
Oh wait,
on.
can we? Okay, there's a great scene. We have to talk about this because Kaori and I
totally
watched it
do.
together, where Raiden is talking to them, and then
my God.
and Christopher Lambert, and he says like their whole explanation what they have to do is something like terrible, and then he just goes,
Fate
"Sorry."
of billions will depend upon you.
Is this the exact?
Yeah, he just chuckles.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we were wondering, was that just like an outtake that they decided to use, where it's just like he like literally broke character as an actor and started laughing, and he's just like, sorry, like that was a legitimate moment, and they're like,
No,
this is
no,
ridiculous.
think so.
In interviews, he said that he wanted to play Raiden with a different sort of air about him, a little bit of a lighter air.
Nailed that.
He did.
Whatever
but
he was
that's not-
going for.
That's not the character of Raiden that we know today. It
Nope.
was just like, you have to do this or Earthrealm will be destroyed. Like, no, he's like, you guys better not lose, you screw ups.
I know, like right when and like when Cage is fighting Goro and he hits in a sweet punch, he's like, he like arm punches
Yeah,
his
it's like,
buddy. He's like, great. Sorry. Like, I don't understand Lambert's like. There's no Raiden arc at all. He's not like a Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's not like the Sensei. He
just hangs
provides
out.
no wisdom.
Well, it's the weirdest
he didn't exactly invite them. He doesn't help them. What is he doing?
He's the one. He's immortal because he's the Highlander and he can do what he wants.
He
Yeah,
is a
that's-
Highlander.
this is
Also
like-
distracting.
It's like 200 years after Highlander. He's like, well, I guess I'm electric now.
I mean-
I've been struck so much by lightning, now he's lightning.
You know, it's funny because when you think about it, this could be the sequel to the Highlander
It could.
because he is a god after the end of the Highlander, and this is what
yeah,
happened.
but then he dies in two.
Well, he was a better Raiden than the second Mortal Kombat. Just saying.
You mentioned that first scene and the scene right after that when they go into the hull of the ship and meet Scorpion and Sub-Zero for the first time, and then he's like, enough! that are strictly forbidden for, and he goes to completely serious. That's so bizarre.
Yep. Nope. No. None of it worked.
It worked when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't think about it at all. I was just like, this is
it's
Sub-Zero
Raiden.
fighting people. This is amazing.
He broke a gun.
Yeah.
And finally, what did you think of the big bad boss, Shang Tsung?
The best.
Really? Okay.
A little bit like the Iron Chef version, like when he tells him the secret ingredient, like he's just, he's so excited about everything.
So excited to be evil.
Yeah.
He's such a, him as an actor, has such a lighter personality. So, again, in interviews, hearing him talk about, so when I was bringing the character, then cut right to Lord Raiden. Right back to, strict, bringing it down. But my favorite thing about this role is that, I don't know if any of you have seen the new Machinima series.
Oh, I haven't seen
He
it.
reprised his
no
role as
way.
Shang Tsung.
Oh, no.
Now he looks like the old Shang Tsung from the first video.
I could
which is
see
even
that.
cooler.
I know that
is
the new
cool.
Machinima series is supposed to be really good.
Really?
Yeah. It gets
I think I saw
yeah.
the first 2 episodes.
I'm
but-
gonna have to check
So
this out.
good.
This is why I do
on
these
it.
shows. I'm learning the entire
Yeah,
time.
we
All
Okay.
right.
I think that when as a kid, he completely frightened me.
He was
And
terrifying.
he still frightened me in this movie.
They
as
didn't
an
do a very
adult.
good job of explaining where the souls go or why he takes all the souls and then all of a sudden it's just a bunch of muscular dudes break out through pipes at
Well,
the
he
bottom.
chose his strongest warriors.
See, I kind of imagine he took the soul, and that's why he's able to transform into those people. That's how I've interpreted it. Was that's the people he can transform into are specifically people whose souls he's taken.
And that's how that works in the game, right? But essentially he just calls 18 dudes out to
in the game,
fight
you can just
for him.
transform. Well, in the game, you can just transform into anybody regardless. Because
Right.
you start the first fight of the tournament, Shang Tsung, you can transform into everybody.
Right, but my point is that he physically transforms. He doesn't call other dudes to fight for
Oh
him.
yeah, no, that was odd that he had
Breaks
that.
through the styrofoam floor.
Okay, also,
Hey,
main
there were rock
thing.
sound effects.
I mean, there were good point.
Okay, here's
good
the
point.
main
I
thing.
retract that.
As you kind of mentioned earlier and touched on, I think that fight is the main issue I kind of have, which is every single time you see someone charging up, Shang Tsung starts calling them, he's just standing there helpless, "Ugh!" It's just why don't you use that opportunity, Liu Kang, to walk in and kick him in the face while he's just standing there?
That's like Sub-Zero 2. It took him a
Or no,
long
Sub-Zero 2,
time.
Sub-Zero with the first guy's cracking everything in his body. Instead, Sub-Zero's doing this charging thing. The guy should have ran in right away instead of just waiting oh yeah, that guy's doing this crazy thing with ice. Let me just show off while he's summoning all these powers.
So I'm with you there. I want to talk about that one, and I want to go back to the Goro
Sure,
fight
let's
in a
do
minute
it.
because I have a picture. So my problem with that scene is not how long he takes to do that special effect, right? When he's calling everybody up. My problem is that when Liu Kang's chasing him up the stairs. Do you remember this? He chases him up there, chases him, and then
brisk jog.
it's Shang Tsung, and he turns around and it's his brother. Remember, Liu?
Yeah.
He just saw it be Shang Tsung, and the dude turns around and he's instantly confused, I don't know. And the line that his brother uses, do you remember this? To convince him that it's actually him. Remember our parents when they died? Yes, yeah, okay, our parents died. I'm on board. It's the worst.
I also thought it was kind of lame that, you know how Katana kept throwing out whispers of face your fears, face this.
which brings life.
One of them.
Oh, here we go.
One of them was
So-
what?
Nope. I thought it was a sound
I'm
effect
so
piped in. It was just his
confused.
dual set tones. It was amazing.
No, that's him killing Reptile at the end.
It's somebody dying in our booth.
Well, one of them was she said something like face. I forget what.
Face your enemy.
And
Face yourself.
He went up the stairs, and then there was another one. I'm like, that's all it took. Was
Yeah.
to climb up the stairs.
It's use your Stairmaster.
It's like okay.
Did it.
So Liu Kang unceremoniously kicks him off into the spikes.
Yeah. That
No, it doesn't kick him
didn't work
off.
out.
That's when he
He's
uses the
fireball.
fireball.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Fireball.
He does beat him all the way to the edge.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was a
fireballs and-
forward high punch.
Correct.
I gotta say, I can
Nailed
appreciate.
it.
I can appreciate when they use Mortal Kombat moves into the movie.
Did you like the bicycle kick?
I did.
Reptile
You
and Liu Kang is probably my favorite fight.
100%. 100%.
There you go.
Yep. I'm
What-
learning.
what are-
I'm your Padawan. You're my Raiden.
What other fight scenes that you guys enjoyed or not enjoyed?
I really so I think the two that were worth watching by today's modern action movie standards would be the Liu Kang reptile fight
Sure.
and the Scorpion cage fight.
Oh yeah, that was kind of.
It was okay. It also starts weird. All of a sudden they're in a forest, all right, and then my problem, they go to that hellscape or whatever, and it's a pretty cool fight. Except, do you remember there's a structure that Johnny climbs up to the top and then he kicks it down?
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out. That's my problem with Johnny as a whole in this movie. I can't figure out what his plan is.
Yeah, it's where do you go?
Where are you going? He's gonna just get tired down there? You give up yet, buddy?
I think
You
he's
give
just
up?
trying to get away at that moment. I think he's
guess
just
so.
literally
But then
letting
he
it get away.
posts I'm ready for more. Nope, bam.
Yeah.
Maybe you jump kick down, you drop kick him.
Do you think that's what it was?
Listen, Johnny's an enigma, and that's why he's so great.
I like the cool little graphical reference to the flash kick when he entered the hell thing with the sort of the
Oh
ghost
yeah,
thing.
yeah, I like that too.
That was cool.
I literally watched that twice and didn't pick that up. That's why we have this
'Cause it wasn't
expert
great.
commentary over here.
I loved the first fight with Liu with I don't know what they called him in the movie, but the martial artist.
Oh, the real martial arts fight, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were actually two. There was a show back in the day on Fox called WMAC Masters. It was like WWE, where it was scripted fights and there was a title belt,
Yeah.
but it was martial arts as opposed to wrestling. And he was Hakeem the Machine Johnson, and so when I saw that, I was like, he's in Mortal Kombat, but he's this guy. And then the guy who played Scorpion was also one of those. So it was just, it's cool. It was like a cameo for me, where you would see an actor that you wouldn't expect to see somewhere in a film.
Scorpion, Chris Casamassa.
Chris Casamassa.
So I think I just wish
Red Dragon.
I think I agree with you guys. I like the Scorpion fight with Johnny Cage. I think that was one of the better ones. And I was just like, as a kid, even I was disappointed by the Sub-Zero fight because I was hoping there'd be like a real fight in battle, and then it just happens to be like, let me throw a water bucket.
Suppose the ice clones, the slide, like anything.
Something.
I was very disappointed with the Katana fight because I wanted to see her fight. She's awesome.
So exactly, she's one of my favorite characters
And
in the
all
arcade.
she does is send him little messages, and like they could have just went to the corner and had a little powwow. That would have worked out.
Bro, totally. Gotten a drink or two. Like, it would have been a way better way.
And then why make her fight if you don't want to
I think
hurt
she should have
her?
just flapped her fans in
know.
his face the whole time, like.
She wasn't even in blue.
So I had a problem with a lot. So I've spoken about the fact that there's no bracket. I don't understand that. I don't understand, like, toward the end, like, so let's talk about the Goro fight with Johnny Cage. Do we have that picture? Can we pull that up?
I do love the hitting in the nuts part.
Okay, so
Classic.
That's the best.
they have.
I mean, it's his move.
They have a conversation. So first of all, they have a conversation. Sonya and Johnny Cage talk beforehand, right? So this is taken from my home theater at home. So here they're talking, which you can't see in this one. So here they are. Sonya and Cage have this conversation beforehand, right? And he says, "Look, I'm going to challenge him. I'm going ahead of everybody." And she goes, "Johnny, it's not about you." And he says, "Look, I've got a plan." So then they go, if you show this other one, this is just funny too. If you can see that, like, over to the left on the third of the screen, and there's all these palette swap ninjas, and then there's a dude in flannel. That's like Jimmy from Sound got stuck in the scene, and they're like, screw it, we'll shoot.
No,
he
listen.
still cheers like he does. He's just so prominently figured.
Damn it, Patrick! Do you really not know Flannel Realm?
I mean,
it's a very heavy part of Mortal Kombat realm lore.
It's
Flannel
it's
Realm.
the secret realm of it's order, it's chaos, it's nether realm, it's outworld, and it's earth realm.
And then Flannel
And then
Realm.
flannel, it's the final realm.
It's the Flannel Realm.
We didn't want to spoil the end of Mortal Kombat
Flannel
X.
Realm is the final realm.
It's spoiled for me.
We didn't want to spoil Mortal Kombat X, but
I'm not qualified to be on this panel. I just am not. This is what I'm learning. So remember, so Johnny says, "Look, I've got a plan," and then he fights Goro, and the dude's grand plan is to punch Goro in the dick and then run to a cliff that he didn't know existed.
that's not necessarily true.
It's totally true. He runs up there, he's shocked. He's like, "Oh,
No,
there's a cliff."
I'm with Mark. Maybe he knew it lead somewhere.
Well, no, he didn't look down. He looked out. I mean, it was a pretty cheesy shot because it was just like, and then he stopped, and you saw like the wily coyote of it all.
He
but
planned it all.
I mean, I will say he does very specifically go for that and leave the arena. So I don't know.
But I'm with you. You were talking about before when he's calling the souls. He should have just punched him in the face. He's like reeling. He's like, "Oh," and
Like that's when you go attack him more. Is like after he's reeling from that. But
Totally.
I did think it was funny though that he's like. So in the scene where he's going to go challenge Goro, and Shang Tsung's like, "Well, if you do this, I get to pick a challenger of my own." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then later, Raiden's talking about what happened, and Johnny Cage is like, "How did you let this happen?" As if it's Raiden's fault when Johnny Cage was the one who made this happen.
I do love.
He's great. I love him.
I do love the callback though when Goro falls and he pulls that back. He's like, "This is the part when you fall." It was so great. Johnny Cage.
I was thinking like that's your one-liner action. They had that one-liner in the movie, and that was the one that they set up.
Nailed it.
And it was a callback, which is
I agree. It was the best.
My favorite line in the movie was also from that fight. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Yeah, you said that way before it happened.
Because I love it.
My favorite is also Johnny Cage. Sorry, but it's when they get to Outworld, and it's like, "Lou, I hate this place. I feel totally unprepared, and I feel like everybody probably wants to kick my ass. It's like being back in high school."
And then following up with, "There's a tower in the distance." He probably took her there. That's where we should go.
Yeah, martial arts logic.
I thought this is a really small scene, but it was probably my favorite scene was when Liu Kang whispers and finds out where Reptile is. I thought that was really cool, and it still looked cool.
Other thing.
Oh yeah.
So with that fight
Sure.
too, if you notice with the Liu Kang Reptile fight, which is one of the better fights, but it's just like after Liu Kang does that and Johnny Cage doesn't know what's going on, he just disappears as if he's just like, okay, you handle this. I'll just stay out of the room that you guys just ducked into because I do not want any part of it.
He was done. He beat Goro and was done of it.
He just saw a crazy reptile thing that's just transformed into a ninja. It's just
imagine that from another, from like, I'd say, lure you, what the, he's got it. He's totally got it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sure he's
I'm gonna be
fine.
over here.
He already knows the dick punch move. I already played that card. I got nothing. I got nothing.
I like how he had the time to tell Sonya how hot she looked in her damsel in distress outfit.
Also terrible.
I mean, really.
Yeah, like I love that they take the time to like dress her up, right? Like he puts her in a dress, teases her hair all out.
A little more on the left. What, does he have the soul of like a hairdresser and he just summons her? It's like, make her look good.
Well, we found out with Kano, Shang Tsung's had plans for her all along, and it was clearly to play dress up with her. It's just I've always wanted a Barbie, and you will be my Barbie in real life.
I've heard rumors of this Barbie in Earthrealm. I'll have my own.
What are some things in the movie that you felt were loyal to the game? Because we're talking about a lot of inconsistencies, which there were. But what are some things that they did good?
There's nothing inconsistent.
It is canon. I know this sounds ridiculous, but we talked a little bit about Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Like, again, in early video game, like they would do to save characters, they would just palette swap. They would use the same model and you change colors. I felt they did this with the crowd. The crowd was just all palette swap people.
The crowd at the first Goro fight was the same as the Johnny Cage
The two
fight.
twins were yelling,
Goro!
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
I mean, it's because they like watching the Goro fights. They're the Goro fans. It's just like, I get front row to another Goro fight.
Yep.
It's fight night. I'm buying tickets to Goro.
Yeah. Southwest, go there. Let's go.
It's like the other Earthrealm fight was great. Did you see the way you got crushed?
They have their own AfterBuzz, but it's just with like fights.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how. Like, it wasn't totally inconsistent. I mean, the whole premise of like, you're going to go to a tournament to save the realm of Earth, and the fact that there's only one left for where the
it was the 10th tournament, and that's the same rules as the game.
Liu Kang is kind of the one to kick his ass.
The chosen one, if you will.
It was always Sub-Zero for me.
Again, I want to go back to problems. He does drop that he beat Shang Tsung, and he says flawless victory. It clearly was not. Like Shang Tsung hit him a lot.
Flawless.
That was Shang Tsung.
Okay, well, if you look at it rounds though, in that final round where he walked up the stairs, it was easy to get hit.
I get behind that. All right, you're making the movie better for me. This is good. This is catharsis.
Let me throw the logic in there for you.
They did have that flawless victory and fatality, all said by Shang Tsung. Which I
honestly, the coolest like fanboy moment, it had no place in it, but at the beginning of the reptile fight, when he gets up and you have the classic announcer dude go reptile, and then the fight starts.
I agree. I kind of loved it.
We're going.
That's cool.
Even though as a kid, when Reptile first animates and it's just a reptile that he calls Reptile, it's like naming your dog Dog. You're like, come on, like what? Like you couldn't get better with that. Like, but I did love that moment too for sure.
My dog would be very offended.
And my cat's cat.
Be a little more creative with your dogs. Do you guys have any? I have right here how they did reception wise in the box office.
Throw it out there. I brought that as one of my fun facts as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so it opened August 18th, 1995, 20 years ago.
Yes,
and
it did.
It hit the top box office spot with 23.2 million. And the other release was The Babysitter's Club. So it beat that by like 8 times.
It was #1 for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to think about.
Back then.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I mean, like if you wonder like how many people
And
saw this
Babysitter's
2 or 3
Club is a great movie
It
too.
is.
So it's just,
Wish that was a video game.
We should talk about that. Make it a big And then also, right now, it's 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if that's critics or people.
It's probably a
critics,
mass of critics.
It's a massive Patrick.
It is. It's just me over and over. Different
making
usernames.
accounts.
PDs01 didn't like it. PDs02. So yeah. So it was. Its budget was only 18 million. So it made that back in its first weekend at that 23.2. It went on to gross 122 million dollars.
That's amazing that the second movie was so bad after that, all
And
considering.
took so long.
Avengers
It was like
made
5
more than
years.
that in the
No.
first weekend.
I think the second.
I agree, but again, for what a return on this.
No, but that's what I mean.
movie.
Is that's how movies have changed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but still, that's a 10 times return
Wait,
at least.
I think the second movie was
And
just
that
2
doesn't
years
even count.
after.
And that
it 2?
doesn't.
I think so.
Okay.
And that doesn't even count like VHS sales or the later DVD sales, or TV spots, or just being on, or being on TV
for inflation.
But I mean, or being on TV because they get money when it's on TV and things like that, and all those plays and deals.
Do you think people who weren't gamers had a different experience watching this movie?
I would imagine you'd be completely lost. It'd be a fever dream.
Well,
if you haven't seen
not necessarily, because there are kung fu movies that you can watch and have no idea what's going on. But as long as the action scenes are good, then they'll be like, "Oh, it was the best movie."
I mean, here's the thing about
Raid Redemption's up there for the fair enough.
I mean, here's the thing about it. Regardless, it's at the end of the day, it's a martial arts movie, and that's why, as sad as it is, this is one of the better video game movies. And it's not like I actually don't dislike the movie. I enjoy the movie because when I was a kid, I liked the action sequences, and I still kind of enjoy the martial arts. It's not as good as now like Raid, which is incredible martial arts. But I mean, like for the time though, it's not like. I mean, okay, yeah, you had Bruce Lee, which was incredible, but I mean, I feel like there weren't as many options out there when Mortal Kombat came out, so it's like, oh, another kung fu movie, cool. So you could just go in and enjoy the kung fu.
And I also appreciate that they chose actual martial artists a lot of times. Well, not all of them, not like Sonya.
I mean,
but she did
all of her own stunts by her request. All of her fights and all of her falls, everything.
Can I ask why they slowed her down, though? When she does that flip and they slow it down, it's like there's zero reason to slow that down. Like, it's pretty slow in regular speed.
Yeah. It was probably just to emphasize it.
I don't think Katana was trained either. She seemed like very choppy with her...
I think it's probably to emphasize when you do slow down like that. It's like, look at that move she did.
A couple other fun facts, though.
Sure.
So I've got both Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp were considered for Johnny Cage and approached, which would have been unbelievable.
No.
Cameron Diaz was cast as Sonya straight off of The Mask. She broke her wrist and was unable to fulfill it and had to bow out last second.
I'm curious to see if that would have helped
I don't think so.
Unhelped her career.
I think Bridgette was a much better...
You think so?
She did?
Yeah, she's more... I consider Cameron Diaz really like a little bit more lanky.
Okay.
Whereas, I mean, I don't know, just because I knew Bridgette first from this movie as opposed to Billy Madison and all the other stuff she did, that's a good picture of Sonya in my mind.
I could see that. Yeah. That's fair.
Did you know that Liu Kang, if we're talking about trivia, is also Master Gen in Street Fighter Chun-Li?
Yep.
And he's also in the Dead or Alive movie.
Oh, is he in it?
Yeah, he's in the Dead or Alive movie as well. I know because I've watched all of them.
Guy gets around.
So yeah, he's been in all three of the major, like he's been in a Street Fighter movie, a Mortal Kombat movie, and a Dead or Alive movie.
And Beverly Hills Ninja as Chris Farley's brother. That's why I saw that movie. Not for Chris Farley, but I saw it for Robin Shou.
Yeah.
Well, let's play a game of Where Are They Now? Because speaking of, so Liu Kang, he reunited with this director, Paul W.S. Anderson, for Death Race. Have you heard of that game?
I have. That
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
Jason
it.
Statham flick, right? Like Swengen from Deadwood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Swengen.
Well, there's a picture of him. I can't show you guys. He looks the same but older.
Okay. Fair enough. I want to know where's Johnny Cage? Talk to me about Johnny Cage. My man.
All right, let's do Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage, who is Linden Ashby, I believe he says, appeared on television soap operas including Melrose Place, Days of Our Lives, and he's currently a sheriff on Teen Wolf.
Well, he's a good-looking guy. He deserves all the CW shows in the world.
I can mind that.
And what do you think it was the fate of Christopher Lambert? Like, he probably was the most successful of them all.
God, what did he do?
Wait, he kind of like stopped afterwards.
I'm trying to think of
he does a lot of French stuff.
He's just the Highlander.
Really? Yeah, I agree. Like there was only one, and that was it. I think that is just you just drop your mic and walk off.
He was in 2012's Ghost Rider: Spirit of a Vengeance.
Oh, he was. That was so sad. Like not even just like as the Highlander, but like Lord Raiden. You're not a flippin' elder god anymore. What the hell is that about?
And Katana pretty much didn't do anything. She had a small little appearance in Elysium.
So this was the breakout movie for all these actors, is what you're saying.
It's sad. Okay, and then your girl Bridgette, she ended up getting married to tennis pro Pete Sampras. They have 2 kids, and her last role was in 2008 in Phantom Punch.
I want to see it by name alone.
I'm in. Can we do a Phantom Punch review?
Have you guys heard of Phantom Punch? Because I have not.
But I'm on board.
Okay, and then obviously the big bad, Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, Shang Tsung, he is, I passed it. In Tim Burton's 2001 remake of Planet of the Apes and also on ABC's Revenge.
He was one of the apes in Planet of the Apes.
Was
he? Is that true story?
If I remember correctly.
Really?
Okay.
Interesting.
Because you recognize him as an ape.
I mean,
I got you, Shang Tsung.
Did he say finish him
that
or
Brazil?
anything? Okay.
And fun fact, I've got here that Goro went back to school at ITT Tech and he got his GED and he wants to be a graphical designer.
Well, he can use 2 computers at once.
He has to support his family.
Yeah, he does.
Well, Shang Tsung also was in The Man with the Iron Fist 2.
And apparently he
Second one.
reprised his role as Shang Tsung in
the Mortal Kombat, the Machinima series.
Well,
series.
this one also, this article from BusinessInsider.com also has updates on Scorpion as well as Sub-Zero. Are you guys
Sub-Zero.
interested?
You know it.
Sub-Zero, who was a French actor, martial artist, Francois Petit, he
I know that name.
was in a martial artist in the 2010 comedy Swishbucklers.
Swishbucklers? I am down.
Have you heard of
At
this?
first I thought you had seen it.
Double feature that and Phantom Punch.
No,
I am
that sounds
on
like
board.
pirate basketball players.
Yes,
I was gonna
yes.
say, well, swashbuckling, so swish. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Pirate. Yeah, yeah.
Pirate basketball.
Or
Pirate
basketball.
And
yeah.
here's an interesting tidbit for you, Mark. He also worked as a trainer,
was a
physical
trainer for
therapist.
WWE.
Yep.
He was,
During the
he was a massage therapist
1990s.
and a I was going to say physicist. As a physician, he was one of the guys that would come and help the guys out if anything happened.
I was gonna say, how would you
Yeah.
know he was a massage therapist by watching WWF? He just comes and goes, "Don't worry, baby." I got you."
No, because instead of Bengay, he would freeze the shoulder and then just kind of work it out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then also Scorpion. You're the lone one that loves Scorpion so much. Chris Casamassa. I can't pronounce this guy's
Casamassa.
name. Thank you.
Very white.
He didn't come back for the Mortal Kombat sequel Annihilation because he ended up being George Clooney's stunt double on Batman and Robin. That terrible
I can't tell
Batman.
which is a better role to have because you could either be in Annihilation, which is a travesty to films, or you could be in Batman and Robin, which is also a travesty to films.
And the Scorpion Sub-Zero fight, when we eventually get to that one in
I guess I'll say I would take Batman and Robin because at least you get to meet George Clooney and all that, and you get to be with
That
bigger
was
directors
such
and actors.
Dude.
a bad Batman though.
Yep. What were you saying about Scorpion?
Sorry.
the fight in Annihilation
Yeah.
was just bad.
Just-
It's okay, but you would
It's
they're
because he
finally
didn't
fighting.
reprise his role. That's why we were let down by you.
Am I the only one that wants to review Annihilation?
No, I would love to tear that apart.
No, yeah.
That's what makes
Team Science over here.
Look,
wants
me
to.
saying it's a terrible movie isn't me saying I don't want to review it.
yeah, well, we
I'm
need
just
to talk
saying
about
it's a
it.
bad movie.
This
That's
is
like saying you don't want to do the majority of the movies that we would cover on this show.
Correct.
Right. I mean,
That's
every
very
movie,
true.
almost every movie, not all of them. There are some good video game movies, but almost every movie is going to be Annihilation level or worse. So
This is group therapy. This is why we're getting together. We're
But
talking
yes,
about it. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so final thing. Let's rate the movie.
What kind of scale are you talking?
And
Let's
you know what?
negotiate.
This is our first
We're
show.
talking
Let's
5.
negotiate. Let's do this.
What kind of a victory was it?
it was
Was
pretty
it-
flawless.
It
was definitely not a flawless.
There was a fatality.
It was a
afterwards.
fatality, but you were trying to do the Scorpion thing, but you did the triple whoop where you just jumped 3 times and, went, whoop, 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 and then they fell over. That's how I'm rating it.
Yeah.
But let's just do a 5 because we're
Out of 5 stars. Just gonna
Well, I was
cry.
thinking I was thinking it's a loss, it's a win, it's a flawless victory, double flawless, and then double flawless.
We're gonna have
with
to
a
use
fatality.
that jargon for all
No.
movies.
No. We'll
Change
do
it
one
for
movie
movie.
specific.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I
If
agree.
you want to do
Alright.
5, it's still 5, but then
Okay, do it. What were they again?
it's loss, victory, flawless victory, double flawless victory with a fatality.
Oh gosh.
Fatality.
Babality.
Double flawless victory.
I give it a loss with the
Animality.
fatality.
Yeah? You get the fatality done on you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
No,
go.
I'm not that. I don't know. Okay, so Star Wise, I give it a 3 out of 5. I still enjoyed it. I mean, not as much as when I was a kid, but I still had fun watching it. And I would give it a victory. I guess that's a 2 out of 5, but I'd still give it a victory. 3 out of 5 stars.
I wish I hadn't rewatched it. I give it a 1 out of
Really?
5. I wish it stayed in my memory because before we agreed to do this, again, it's one of those things that I really fondly remembered, and it's one of those things right place, right time, super nostalgia. I'm playing these video games. This is great. It does not hold up. It's right, Sonya. It's offensive to me as a guy who considers himself a feminist. I was offended for your whole gender for that writing. I mean, as a whole, this movie was just it was terrible, and it would be a good drinking game. I think if you had a shot every time they said somebody's full name for some reason, they
Liu
can't
Kang.
just Johnny Cage. So Johnny Cage, that's offensive. Johnny Cage. You get wasted. So it'd be a really fun drinking game. So I give it 2 shots out of 5.
Okay.
Wait, you went from 1 out of 5
I know,
to 2 out of 5.
I know.
You talking about how much you dislike?
But now I'm going back to a
Let me
drinking
point
game.
this out. Patrick talking about how much he disliked the movie made him raise his score of the movie.
Totally, because like if you relate to it as it's a better drinking game than it is a movie. It's 1-star movie,
So it's
2-star drinking game.
One for the movie, one for the alcohol.
Yes, totally.
Okay,
Alcohol.
Mark, yours
I'd-
is gonna be high.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5. If this was way back when, I would give it a perfect 5.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But
Little kid Patrick gives it a 5.
It's aged a bit. The CGI not as good, but I still love the fights, the music, everything, the acting. Despite some of the dialogue, the scene between Kano and Goro is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Because here's this guy who thinks he's all good, but then Goro's just, this dude's a flipping idiot. There's too much good. I could talk about this movie for hours, but I just say 4 out of 5.
It was so. I don't know why that movie. That scene was offensive when he throws all the food to the ground, and then that first scene when Shang Tsung comes out and all those ninjas, and it was like
They just flip all the tables.
flip all the tables like a shitty first night at Hogwarts. Like all this food, and they just throw it all on the table, and now we're.
Well, I think that's the point. It's like you think you're coming to this mystical, magical world, but you ain't. We're flipping all the tables.
So get your prawns, boy.
You want chocolate frogs? No.
I would give it a 4, even to this day.
All right.
I would.
All right.
It's one of those movies that if it was playing on TV, I would keep it on. It's like a Con Air. You never switch channel when something like this is on.
I can talk about some Con Air. Let's talk some Face Off at some point.
Face Off. If there's a video game for that, we can do that. So,
I would play the hell out of that game.
and that's the music. Here we go.
I mean, the theme song alone makes
So
it
good.
raves us up.
I just gave it another star.
I now give it
another
a 4
star.
out of 5.
Another star.
It
More
wasn't 3 out
stars.
of 5, but because of the theme song and the soundtrack, 4 out of 5.
There you go.
There you go.
That's 3 out of 4 for a 4 out of 5.
My stars are going up.
Nice. And thank you guys so much for joining us for our pilot show.
Yeah.
This show, Do Games Make Good Movies? Most of the time, it's questionable.
True story.
In the meantime, you can tweet us all along with questions, comments, tidbits, trivia, #VG Films, right here at Popcorn Talk. Mark, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark, and you can follow wrestling podcasts I do at The Gimmick Pod, because if you like wrestling, you probably like this movie.
True
All
story.
right. Patrick.
You can find me at Pete of the Dees on Twitter, and once in a while I do a video game related podcast called Pixel by Pixel. You can find that on iTunes.
You can find me on Dave Control Live on YouTube or check my Twitter at @DaveClein, that's KLEIN.
And you guys, don't forget to subscribe, rate, comment on this video right here. And you can find The Popcorn Talk at The Popcorn Talk and also YouTube, Popcorn Talk Network. And you can find me at KAORIOUS, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you very, very soon for some other trash talking or good talking on movies.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.